Okay, now do we like the next movie? Out of all of the features, it has the most stars. It's streaming on Netflix. Thank you, Netflix, for providing me and Bruce Perky with a link for Leave the World Behind. It is directed by, I forgot how to pronounce his name, Sam Esmail, or Sam Esmail is the creator of a show that I liked, at least for the first two seasons. I've only seen the first two seasons of Mr. Robot. So he's the director and writer of Leave the World Behind. It's described as a post-apocalyptic thriller or something on Rotten Tomatoes, or it's been, well-acted apocalyptic thriller. So that's not too much of a spoiler, because you're wondering, you have all these people in this really beautiful house. Some of these people it's sort of a staycation of the weekend for this well-to-do couple played by Julia Roberts and why am I blanking? And Ethan Hawke. They're a loving couple. They bring their two kids. Both of the kids are like early teens. The oldest is a son. The youngest is a daughter. The youngest daughter, I think she's around 12 or 13. She's obsessed with Friends. It's a running theme. You know what? You think that's just going to be a little minor thing? It's a big thing. Her obsession to see the finale of Friends plays a big part in Leave the World Behind, because that's a big part of her character, the youngest daughter. And the youngest daughter, and it's a little trope, usually the youngest person in the clan is able to see things that a lot of the adults don't. You're going to see that too. That's not a spoiler either. So there's a lot of tropes that are bandied about. And another big trope is Mahershala Ali. He plays a guy who a seeming stranger who actually goes into their house, knocks on their door, and he's with his presumed daughter, and he tells them, hey, this is my house. I was in the city wondering if we could spend the night over at my house. I know you guys are renting it for the weekend from me, but due to certain situations, me and my daughter need to spend the night. Can that happen? Within that framework, Julie Roberts' character does not trust these two people. And you think it might be is it going to be a racist undertone kind of movie that plays into it? Or is it just a general mistrust kind of movie, people not trusting people? At the beginning of the movie, Julie Roberts' character, when they're in the city, she says, I think it starts off with, I just bleeping hate people. So that's another theme. But ultimately, you have this family unit, and they're trying to figure out what's going on around their environment. Is there something going on? Because the other day, they were at the beach. They saw a big freight just crash onto the beach. And there's a lot of weird things. There's a lot of deer in the neighborhood for some reason. There's a lot of weird, quote unquote, apocalyptic things that are happening in this beautiful, almost mansion that they're hanging out in. Is it the end of the world? Did they leave the world behind? Is this a watchable movie? Bruce Berkey.
Yes, it is a watchable movie. I was surprised by actually how watchable it was. It is a pretty long movie. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it went by pretty breezy for me, although there's a couple scenes I could say you could trim a little bit. There's a scene where Mahershala and Julia Roberts are dancing and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I get it. we don't need this for 5 minutes, but it was fine. Once again, to go back to Anderson, something goes down smooth. This is one of those kind of movies. This is what you want from a Netflix movie. You know, you've got the stars, you've got the budget, but it's interesting and fun and engaging story. This is, first of all, it's another one in these ongoing B&B horror thriller subgenre that's become a thing in the last, I don't know, 10 to 5 years. Probably more like 5 years. We've had quite a few of these lately. Also, this definitely feels like if this could be made by M. Night Shyamalan, and this is a property that M. Night Shyamalan could have been attached to. It has its own style for sure. And I'd like to mention the style a little bit here. There's some really great swooping camera shots, almost Argento-ish kind of things. There's a lot of shots where you'll go like outside of the house and around the house and follow a character through the house, and then like seamlessly, obviously with digital effects somewhat, go into the house through the window. There's a few of those shots, and they're a little showy, but they're also kind of fun because they give you the setting and the mood of what's going on in that particular scene. And I will say it's used at the end. There's an end-ish shot, not the ending shot, but close to the ending shot, where they go from someplace low up into the sky above the tree line and then back down. That is fantastic. Yeah. But overall, what I liked about this movie, what surprised me about this movie, is it sets itself up, and you know it's going to be apocalyptic or a thriller or a home invasion. It's something, right? You know, you got the classic suburban upper middle class, upper class family, white family going to the beach to this palatial bed and breakfast. I mean, this is like such a mansion. And
Yeah.
then you have, you're like, I think, oh, this is going to be them, and basically having to deal with possibly the end of the world or something happening. We don't know. And they're going to have to just fight for their lives or hunker down, or it's going to be a siege movie or something, right? And then you get the introduction of Mahershala Ali, and I want to call out Miala, I'm not saying her name right, Harold,
Right.
playing his
Ruth.
daughter,
Yeah.
Ruth. I think she's the unsung hero of this movie.
She's so good.
She was in Bodies, 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 which I've just gone back to watch, which I might mention next week because I haven't finished it yet. I know that Eric watched it. I made me go back to watch that because I was so impressed by her in this movie. And her role in this movie, I think, is kind of key because she's like this sardonic voice of like calling out the kind of a lot of times in this.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to bleep me again. I'm so
No,
sorry.
no worries. No worries. Don't worry. I got you.
But I think the secret sauce to this movie is this. You have that basic setup, like I said, like this, Shyamalan kind of thing, like normal people, crazy events are starting to happen. What's going on? But the introduction, the social interaction of the people who own the house coming back to their house and the people who don't own the house still being in the house, and just how that plays out, I think is really engaging. And there's a lot of fun and insightful stuff that goes on there. But overall, this is just straight up entertainment. And I really quite enjoyed it.
Straight up entertainment is correct, Bruce. This is movie, let's say, here's the prohibitive one, 140 minutes. And guess what?
Yeah.
It's worth every minute. You know why? Because it's like an M. Night film crossed in with a play in an enclosed space with really good actors. And then the M. Night stuff or the B movie awesomeness, there are some really standout action thriller moments. There's a person in a car on a road. There is that beach sequence. Kevin Bacon makes an appearance, and it's more than a cameo, but it is a really well done segment with Kevin Bacon. You mentioned the camera shot. Even the use of friends makes sense to me. So a lot of things, I was expecting sort of a empty calories experience, 140-minute slog with Leave the World Behind, but I ended up with a very solid drama with some excellent action-y set pieces. I am scared. I am now scared of deer, by the way. Not scared of deer. My goodness. So that's not giving too much away.
It's the best use of deer crowds since The Ring 2, I guess I'll say.
Quick question. With Julia Roberts, and you mentioned Kevin Bacon, does Kiefer Sutherland and Oliver Platt make an appearance in this too to do a Flatliners
They're
review?
sleeping in the back. They're like,
Yeah, we love that.
They're off screen. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Look, everyone has their moments. Look, I feel bad because their son is, look, okay, their son, we all love our family members, but he's the one in the family who's a complete DICK. Let's just face it. But the thing is, we're all family. And I mean, that actor has the really unthankful role of being sort of a really big heel in the movie. And what are you going to do?
He kind of gets it, though. He kind of gets this for that.
Right. And we have to also mention Farrah McKenzie as Rosie, the youngest one in the clan. She's the one obsessed by Friends. She's very good. And she also has a couple of her own moments to shine. This is a really well-written film. So, like Bruce was saying, this is top-tier stuff, Netflix film. Really enjoyed it. I'm surprised. Solid 4 stars for me. The Greg special, as Eric Holmes would say, for Leave the World Behind. 4 stars for me. Bruce, what about you?
I just want to mention the final moments of this movie might seem a little abrupt to people, but if you think on it and sit on it a little bit, I ended up loving the final shots. I think it was actually chef's kiss. Perfect. I'm going to 4.5 on this. I really like this movie quite a bit. I'm kind of a sucker too for these apocalyptic, during the apocalypse, post-apocalyptic kind of movies. So I liked it quite a bit.
I'm not giving too much away, Bruce. Did you like the apocalyptic theme of the movie being somewhat topical? Did you like the topical nature of what they were trying to say? Or is
I think it worked because I think all of it was none of it was too heavy-handed, I don't think. I mean, it was there and it was toyed with a little bit. Let's say these kind of movies would very easily fall into one side being evil and, you know, one side being the good guys. And I think there was a lot of gray area there, which is more true to life, I think. Even the character of Kevin Bacon, I'm not going to say what kind of character he is, but the kind of character he should be in a movie like this.
Oh yeah.
When he was talking, he was reasonable. I thought he was reasonable with what he's saying, and the way they treat him more in a rounded way than they would have to. I also would point out to Eric, if he ever watches this movie, which is going to be on Netflix if this weekend, if he's bored and the family wants to watch it or whatever.
I'm down.
I predict that the character of Ethan Hawke's character will annoy the hell out of Eric. Just knowing how he hates indecisive and wishy-washy characters.
There is going to be one moment. No. Bruce, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but there's going to be one specific moment regarding a window, rolling up the window or rolling it down.
I think the way he acts in multiple scenes is going to really annoy Eric. But the good thing is he's not the main guy. There's a whole bunch of characters, so he's okay being annoying there. I think you won't mind him being annoying there because he's not the main focus. But you'll definitely hate his character. I have a feeling so.
Well, Eric, maybe next week, along with In the Heat of the Night, rewind this movie for us if you can see it with the family this weekend on Netflix.
I might do it. Plus, like, I don't watch a lot of Julia Roberts movies, but every time I do, I'm like, I really like Julia Roberts. I should see more of her movies, but for some reason, I just don't.
You know what's great about this
Little
movie?
Against Type, right? When you say a Little Against Type,
100%, Bruce. It's not a showy role for her. She's part of the ensemble, which is completely the perfect way. It's a really good story, and I'm glad she picked it. That's what I was thinking, Bruce, right? I mean, it's not like this showy nomination kind of situation. It's just a really well done movie.
This is one of those movies that you don't get a ton of anymore, where it's just like straightforward. Like we talk about entertainment. This is the kind of movie where you just sit down. This is also one of those, like, the whole family could watch it kind of movies. It's not too gory.
It's scary.
A little scary. It's a little
scary.
Gory, a little creepy, but it's not like intense. Like it's super intense, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I don't know.
Well,
I might have different standards.
All right, so that is 4.5 from Bruce Perky, 4 from me for Leave the World Behind on Netflix, Friday, December 8th. We're going to close. We're going to do In the Heat of the Night next week, folks.